We are back. Literally within seconds of me canceling that first live stream, the tornado watch has been issued, and you'll see that the National Weather Service has really taken into account, um, and the Storm Prediction Center is taking into account where that cold air came down out of Lake Michigan earlier. You notice that Jasper County, Newton County, over into Will, Kankakee County, they're all in the watch, but you go further to the north there, Lake County, Porter County, and then further up by, I'm sorry, up by Will County. Those are not in the watch. So they are definitely thinking that the cold air has had a detrimental impact on the potential for tornadoes up in that area. But I would not be surprised to see a severe thunderstorm watch come out. Now, I do want to have Eliza kind of zoom out here a little bit because this is interesting. We're now at 63 degrees. We were at the low 50 there for a while on the west side of Mont. We are now currently in Newton County. We're heading over towards State Road 55 up by there. We're going to slide down and run over Route 41. But if you look off to the south here, you do see some convective elements of these clouds, which also kind of looks like a little bit of fog starting to form. If we do get some fog down here, that would be a great sign that we have a temperature inversion slightly above us, that we have a cap here. That might be a little difficult for these storms to break through. Wouldn't count on it though. Most of the models actually had that cap eroding fairly early, so I'm not counting on that being the case, but it is possible. And even if there was a cap now, it's going to be gone very shortly. So we're actually just going to stay live with you right now. Um, we'll probably try to find a place to put the phone where Eliza can relax a little bit too, instead of just holding it nonstop. But we're just going to stay live. If you have questions, go ahead and feel free to ask those questions, and we'll try to do our best to check the comments, um, but no guarantee. And then also, I'm not going to talk nonstop throughout this live stream because I don't have much of a voice left, and I need to save what I've got for when it's about to get bad. Yeah, it doesn't. That's the GoPro case. It doesn't have the bracket for that. Yeah, let's see if we can get this way. Let's see here. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. All right, we're at a stop sign here. We're just gonna mess around here for a second and see. Nope, it's gonna weigh too much and drag that down. Yeah, a lot better. It's got to be because we were in a low internet area last week. I don't know what else to think.
Amanda says, when are the worst of the storms going to arrive?
Well, there's multiple different times, Amanda. I'm answering your question. I know you guys can't hear Eliza because if I take my Bluetooth speakers out of my ears, or if I turn that off, you're not able to hear me because I need the microphone. But she's relaying your questions to me. There's going to be multiple rounds. So the first round is this first round of storms that are coming through. Now, the coverage on these storms is not going to be overly impressive. Not very many people are actually going to get these storms, but the ones who do, unfortunately, this is going to be all hazards. These are going to be more isolated, meaning that they don't have to share any of the ingredients with any other storms around them or deal with any kind of interference. So these first rounds here, this one could be pretty rough as far as the tornado potential. Next round comes in later on this evening. Current thinking is now 7 o'clock, although the way that these things all interact with each other is going to make a huge difference. So I'm not sure to say that for certain. Third round, that may actually be hard to differentiate from the second round. That's going to be doing a little bit later tonight. That's going to last well into the overnight hours. Once again, a horrible nocturnal setup for us. I know everybody hates nocturnal, but so do I. I do not plan on chasing rounds 2 or 3. I'm only going to chase this first round. I don't chase after dark. A lot of these storms are going to be moving into metro areas. I don't chase the cities. And then once the storms stop becoming quite as isolated, once we have more coverage and there's chances for multiple tornadoes to be on the ground at the same time, I need to be in front of the radar where my focus is dedicated to what's going on everywhere, not just on the one storm that I'm chasing.
Shelby wants to know what time it's supposed to start. When's the latest?
Again, hard to say 100% for sure, but I would say anytime, looking at the storm initiation now and where it's taking place, I would say the best bet's going to be around, I don't know, 5. It could be later. It's just going to depend on if you guys get coverage there or not.
Amy says she can't hear us. Turn the volume up.
How are we doing audio wise?
mic to Bluetooth to the phone.
Okay, show her. I've got it. I've got it. I don't know why it's not working.
Piper says, just joined. Where are you?
I am at the intersection of 010 and 55.
Somewhere around that area. Piper says you sound muffled. Don't know what you want from us.
Internet again?
It said slow connection, so.
Okay, we're in a slow connection out here, so I feel like anytime we have a good signal, we have good audio. So when we have bad internet out here, that audio becomes an issue. And also, I'm fighting influenza B, so it might also just be my voice.
Mark says Daniel is sick with the flu, so he's not going to do a lot of talking until it gets worse. Thank you.
Alright, the storm down by El Paso in Illinois is not severe one. The storm that had moved north of the cold air has died at this point in my field right here. So as you can see, that cell is dying out rapidly. That cold air is killing it, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with this cell right here heading towards Braidwood as it moves into that colder air as well. That's why I still think the bigger risk is going to be down here along US 24 to begin with. Now, later on tonight, is that going to be the case? Probably not. The entire area is going to be done later. But here's the good news. If we can look for a silver lining, and I always want to look for a silver lining, the cooler temps in the northern half of Jasper and Newton County, even though they have warmed up, they've not gotten back up into the 70s yet. So if you have storms that are off to the south and southwest, scrounging on 70-plus degree temperatures and 60-plus degree dew points, and then it moves into an area up here, it's going to be, it may put the storms in shock a little bit. The ingredients are not going to be as strong enough to still get things done, but hopefully would lead to maybe a lesser risk, but again, I wouldn't count on it.
Okay, let's connect the internet to my phone, because I'm not going to be using it as much.
Okay.
You know how to do that?
Alright, Eliza's going to hand me the phone. We're going to take the iPad off of my phone and plug it onto hers so that we have better internet, so we have better audio. Again, I apologize for the long periods of time without any talking. I'm fighting influenza B and need to save my voice. It sounded pretty good the other day. I sounded like a pirate yesterday when I was on the phone with my clients. Video quality that we're in a low internet area again. I apologize. The signal's going to come and go. Now, a couple things that Fernando and I have talked about upgrading this year. So last year we got the iPad, which was awesome because that allows me to have a bigger radar screen in the truck. We also bought a new GoPro, which improves the camera quality. Year before I got the dash camera. And this year, a couple things we're talking about is getting Starlink. That way we have internet everywhere we go. We can just take it with us. And then the other thought that we're having is there's like these meta glasses or something like that you can live stream from a pair of glasses, and it will show you or show everybody exactly what I'm looking at. Okay, this is concerning. We are going to jump down to the Lincoln Radar because the storm down by El Paso is starting to show all the telltale signs of being a supercell. It's got the right shape. It's already got hail forming along it. Up in that core. Not seeing a whole lot of rotation in it yet, but that's about the only thing it's missing. So this is supercell forming out by Ottawa behind the first one. That one it's heading towards Braidwood. It's kind of in line with the southern portion of Lake County if it were to come straight across. I really think it's going to struggle as it moves here from the north. I just don't think, I'm up here on State Road 10 approaching Lake Village, and my temperatures here are only in the mid-60s. We just didn't get the rebound. Lake Michigan certainly did its job for us. It was our best friend in this area. Just wish it could have made it further south so the whole area could stabilize better.
Abby says I can hardly hear you. It is not a call.
Double check, make sure it's still connected to Bluetooth on my
You don't need to know how hard it is. It's all the same. You went chasing without me. I didn't know that. You didn't tell me.
You couldn't get out of school if you had jazz.
So if I didn't have gas, you would have just taken me. That's what I was hearing.
I don't know if you guys can hear this conversation in the background, but my daughter is always trying to convince me to take her out of school for tornado chases.
Don't put me in school. I'm not learning anything. Can learn more in your life.
You know what? I don't think we want to go south. I'm going to kind of watch these storms as they continue to move north and east. I would say right now Dwight's probably the worst area to be. That storm from El Paso is just a love chasing out there. That's coming right that way. Got some friends out chasing in that area. Now, before I started doing subscribers and doing live updates for everybody at home, I used to go all over the place to chase. The reason I don't do that as often anymore is if there's a risk at home, I feel obligated. I'm going to stay home and get everybody warned here. I've heard some people kind of, I don't know if they're trying to be funny, if they were trying to be ornery. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt saying, oh, he doesn't really chase. Yeah, I used to. I chased all over the place.
The sun looks so pretty.
It's kind of nice that it's staying cloudy up here, though. It's only at 64 degrees. We're now on State Road 10, west of Lake Village, approaching the Illinois state line.
Really? I didn't know that. I'm horrible jogger.
Here's the one concern I have with that storm that's heading towards Dwight. As the rotation in these storms start to increase, these storms do tend to curve back to the right. And that's another reason I don't know that I necessarily want to get too far south. I think I'm convincing myself not to head down towards Watsika. Maybe just this area.
So, Zach said, is it going to stay north of Rensselaer? Looking at the radar, it looks like it's going to go northwest.
Yeah, that storm is going to go north. This is just round one. This is the most isolated out of the 3 rounds. The next 2 rounds will have a lot more storm coverage. Rapidly developing hook on that storm that came out of El Paso.
Katie says, we love what you do.
Oh, thank you.
And Piper said, don't feel obligated. We appreciate your efforts.
I appreciate that, not feeling obligated, but unfortunately,
internet's fault, it's not ours.
Yeah, if you can barely hear, we're going into areas where the internet's not the greatest, and where the internet is lagging. That's where your audio quality and visual quality are going to lag. That's why I want Starlink in the truck. That's one of the things I'm rooting for and hoping that we can accomplish this year. Also watching to see if there's any more storms that develop down in like Ward, Livingston, and Iroquois counties in Illinois. Not like Champaign. So far, so good.
I'm doing my interview on being a meteorologist.
What?
Interview. We had to come up with a job that we want to do in the future, and that was my job that I picked, meteorologist. No, like for the PCC project.
Alright, can we get us some heavier clouds here as we enter towards the next? Temperatures still holding steady in the 60s.
Where was we last time? No, we went the other way. This looks familiar. Sarah says, thank you, Guy. You really helped my anxiety. It's better to be prepared and know.
Yep, 100%. Preparedness and just knowing what's going on. I know for some people it can give you anxiety, but knowing in advance what's going to happen or what could happen, the different possibilities and probabilities of those outcomes. I don't know. Me personally, I like to be prepared ahead of time. It definitely helps my anxiety, knowing that I got a plan.
Justin sent you a message asking for our address. It's a bit personal. Someone from my mom's online account found out where we live. From my school, one of my friends. They went and found your mom's online things about like being a teacher. Like, pull up if you want to, but we got going. Careful.
Got a spotter report in central Jasper County.
Tornado?
Just a test. Oh, that's perfect.
Okay. Your online tech stuff, I can probably help you.
Well, no, because in this case, specifically, is that has to go through mom. She approved what she wanted to approve. Because when they originally sent that stuff through, like Apple or whatever, it was sent through her, not mine.
Justin's asking for the full shipping address. Oh.
Justin will PM you that here in a little bit. Right now, gotta keep the live stream going. I'm afraid if I hop off of this gateway for signals, I'm gonna lose everybody.
Megan is saying maybe your hand is over the mic.
Nope, hand's not over the mic. Just bad phone, bad speakers, bad internet.
It's internet. There's not much you can do about it. asking what your area is right now.
We are just on the east side of Momence, Illinois.
What this person thinks we're calling them. That's right.
Your driver not speeding. That is great.
Oh, Piper says, where are you right now? Which way to track you? Oh gosh.
Pulling into Momence right now.
Kitty says maybe take the mic off. The mic is in the AirPods. So.
Alright. We get up here, we're gonna make an adjustment. I'm gonna take the AirPods out and we're just gonna put it back on the phone, but I can guarantee you the speaker quality is gonna be absolutely horrific. And I don't know that I can necessarily talk loud enough to make sure everybody can hear me, but we'll give it a try because what we're doing is not working, so we might as well try something else.
I'm thinking maybe it was because it's plugged into something else. Is the audio quality any better?
I don't know, can you guys hear me any better?
Stephanie says I can hear you, you're just a little distance for obvious reasons.
Yeah, is it better than what it was with the AirPods though?
Oh, sorry guys, you just saw my hand. I want to live on that island.
Oh, this place floods all the time, but without that live there. Let's see if he has. This is the Kankakee River flood.
Mitzi says it is. Oh. Mitzi says can hear much better now, it just kicked in better.
Okay, awesome. We'll just keep doing it this way then. Alright, so even though radar is not showing anything to our south, we are starting to see storms possibly developing down there. You can talk as loud as you want, they can hear you now. So that's good. Alright, so now we're coming out the west side of Momence.
Down to 46 in Griffith. Do you think Griffith is going to be hit?
I think Griffith is not going to have much of a tornado risk unless a strong enough tornado crosses the boundary that it can hold together for a while. But I do think Griffith is in for some big hail and definitely some flash flooding tonight. But not with this first round.
This would be a cool area to live. Probably very boring, but it'd be cool.
Alright, so now we're on Illinois State Road 17 between Momence, actually just to the west of Momence, heading towards Kankakee, but we're just outside of Momence, so we got a ways to go before we get there. Even if we were to continue tracking this storm that's heading up towards White, I don't know that we can necessarily catch it in time. And I'm not really sure that I'm going to anyway, because it doesn't really impact our area, and it takes me out of play for anything that could develop over Ford and Livingston counties and down by Champaign over in Illinois. Those are the ones that we'd have to watch for to move into our area here over the next hour or so with this first wave.
Are we getting rain? Looks like there's a raindrop.
Not yet.
There's one singular raindrop over there. Is it really? Oh. Looks like a raindrop. Look at the rain. That's just a line. Look at pile of rain. Look at is this thing going to go right now that north of us, Danielle? Okay, what?
The first round right now, the only storms that have fired so far are over in Illinois, and and they're all going to move off to the north and west of our area. They're going to probably stay in Illinois. They might scrape, well, this latest scan is showing that that storm by Pontiac is now turning to the right a little bit, so maybe Lake County, but not for a while yet.
I was looking at home. That's just going to be
Right now, everything at home is looking fine. There's nothing on radar at home.
It's so pretty. A bit boring.
I really don't want that storm to turn right. If it does, it's going to be a problem.
Pam says I hear you now.
Okay, good. Alright, I'm going to do another radar update real quick, so Liza, I'm going to have you focus on this. This is the storm right here that we've been watching. This is the most dangerous cell in the area. This one up here north of Ottawa is looking pretty bad. It's got hail. It's starting to do a hook echo. You can see I was trying to hook here in the back end, but it's about to lift into the colder air. This one down here is still well within the warm sector, and it looks like it's trying to move a little bit to the right. If it does, that's going to keep it in the warmer air further and bring it over our way. We just really don't want that. I don't want it to latch on that front. I don't think it's going to. I think the front is too sharp. It's not really conducive for it, but at the same time, I'd rather this thing just completely stay away, because even if it comes over to us and we got the colder air and we lose the tornado risk with this cell, the hail that's showing up on this thing is already beastly.
Kankakee says thank you for going out there, guys. Stay safe. And Brandon says the audio is kind of bumpy. That's because we have no internet.
Yeah, we're out in the middle of nowhere right now. We're actually approaching St. Anne.
Emily says, when's Rensselaer going to get hit?
It just depends on when the storms in this round fire and where they fire. If they fire anytime after 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock would be the first round. Anytime 7 o'clock and after would be the second round. So there's a couple windows of opportunity. That thing is definitely drifting to the right.
So in other words, it'll be around 5 o'clock.
It just depends. I mean, right now there is nothing on radar back home. So that's a good thing, because we're getting pulled further west than I originally had wanted to.
It's really cool area. Let's come back off. Of course, hopefully under better circumstances.
So wait a minute, I'm not going up like that.
You know what? They didn't take me out of school.
So don't forget, we made a post earlier today that talked about the cold air making it all the way to Kankakee, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if this storm does continue to drift to the right, its best tornado production time would be anytime now as it's maturing until it gets into that colder air around Hershey. After that, it's going to become a hailer, and I will tuck tail and run from that. Most of the time, the nice thing about a tornado is you can stay out of it, you can stay south of it, you can see it unless it's rain wrapped. But I just don't, and I just don't want to get anywhere close to hail at all.
Austin says, yeah, where you think Rensselaer is going to be hit? I think you mean when?
Yeah.
Around 5.
Again, the storms are possible anytime now between now and 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. Right now, there's nothing on the radar imminent for Jasper County or Newton County. Nothing over here at all. The action so far has been further west. That forcing, that subtle shortwave, that little disturbance in the flow is right out here. The surface low is still backed out over Missouri and southern Iowa, so there's just it's really hard to say. It just depends. These things are blowing up out of nothing and then fizzling once they hit the cold air.
Nikki wants to know where we are.
We are in St. Anne, approaching Kankakee.
It's not a cool place. I thought it was just a river.
You've got no interstate here that in Arkansas.
In my defense, normally it's not. You know if we're going to Arkansas this year?
Probably not.
Because of the Disney trip and Florida trip.
Alright, so we are now just east of Kankakee. Temperatures are holding steady in very impressive on radar. It's the cell right over here. But we're going to keep an eye on that. But at the same time, I don't want to get so far west that if anything pops out here, we can't get back in time to keep an eye on it too.
Whoa, the phone just got really bright. Could be a thunderstorm warning.
Good news is that storm motion is only 35 miles an hour, so that's helpful.
Probably not that bad.
The bad news is the hail on it is already over an inch and a half.
Nikki says he's heading towards Kankakee, Illinois. Yep.
Yep.
And Nikki says, any predictions for Lowell area?
For Lowell, we're going to have to watch these storms right here. They're starting to drift to the right. If they do, they can end up impacting northwest Indiana here in the next hour or two. I'm really starting to get the feeling that we're going to dodge a bullet with this first round because I'm just not seeing any development for down in this area here, which would have been the major concern for us. So now it's just going to be watching this beast out here explode and make it drift to the right and come up our way. So best prediction for Lowell is keep an eye on these storms out here to the west. I'm actually getting ready to get on the one that's over by Pontiac. Now the one that was up by Ottawa is severe warning. Looks like probably for hail, but it's going to cross into the cold air as it goes just north of Joliet.
Thank you, Piper.
So I'm starting to feel a little bit more at ease for this first round of storms for back home. Not completely at ease, but I do feel a little bit better.
Oh, that poor guy. Good luck.
We're starting to get maybe a little bit of a hook right there just north of Pontiac right now. But again, we're still pretty far out from the radar. Let's see how we're getting a little bit of curvature here on the southern end of the storm. Too far from the radar for me to get too excited about that just yet.
Nikki says we appreciate you guys. We'll check back later.
Sounds good.
See you later. Say. I thought that was a bottle popping.
Tires.
It's a weird look though. Never
It's actually apartments, but I'm not sure.
It's a bit random placement. Look at this good stuff. DeMont has a tornado watch until 11 p.m. with temps dropping 62 at 7 p.m. and then we'll jump to 65 at 8 p.m. Is that a good thing?
A little concerned about the southern part of Jasper County. Now, keep in mind, if God forbid, and it's not likely, even with as dangerous as today's setup is, it's not likely that any one location is going to see a